Hello scholars, today we'll be discussing laboratory safety. Our objective is that the student will be able to understand science lab safety and why it's important. Remember, doing things safely is not merely the right way to do work. It's the only way to do work. In order to have fun in science experiments, you need to be aware of the dangers and hazards in the laboratory. It's important to respect the safety of yourself and others in the lab. And in order to do this, you need to make sure you're following safety precautions. In short, just think smart and be safe. Now, there's many dangers in the lab, but I want you to think to yourself, what is the most dangerous thing in any laboratory? Go ahead and give me an answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. I've picked 2 responses which I think are the most dangerous thing in a lab. The first is someone who doesn't know what they're doing. The next is if you don't know how to use something or know what it's for. Why did I pick these? Well, because between these 2 answers, I think someone is just asking for an accident to happen. Remember, we're here to help. So if you don't know what something is used for, or if you don't know what you're doing, simply ask. It's better to be safe than sorry. Now, accidents often result from 3 different things. An indifferent attitude, meaning you're playing around, you don't care, you're not listening. If you're indifferent, you're not going to know what's going on. A failure to use common sense, and a failure to follow instructions. If you do exactly what the teacher tells you, then you shouldn't have any issues getting into accidents. Now, there is general safety rules, which we're going to go over. Now, what is the number 1 safety rule? Think to yourself, what is the most important thing that you should remember? Well, let's discuss it. In my opinion, the number 1 safety rule is telling your teacher if any accidents occur. This is a number 1 answer to any question asking about what to do in an unsafe lab situation. If you don't know what to do, your teacher will always know what to do. So make sure you let them know if something goes wrong. So true or false? If you don't know what you're supposed to do in a lab, you should ask the teacher. Go ahead and give me an answer. In 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. If you said true, then you're correct. You should always ask your teacher if you don't know what you're supposed to do. Let's move on. The second safety rule is no horsing around. Never horse around or play practical jokes in the laboratory. The lab is not a place for being silly. You need to focus on completing your experiment correctly and safely. Because of that, you should always conduct yourself with mature and appropriate behavior. If you're focused and you're serious about getting the job done, then you won't have any time to play around or make any accidents occur. Another safety rule is to secure loose sleeves and other loose articles of clothing, such as ties and bows. This includes jewelry, your hair, anything that could get caught on lab equipment should either be tied back or removed. Why should this happen? Well, here's an example of something that could go wrong. You need to tie back long hair and loose clothing when working near an open flame. You need to roll up any sleeves because you don't want to end up like the girl in the picture. Notice how her hair is loose and close to the Bunsen burner. This is something that happens. Her hair caught on fire, and now she looks like this, unfortunately. So, make sure that whenever you're working in the lab, you always tie your hair up in a ponytail. Now, true or false? You can keep your hair down during labs. Go ahead and tell me in 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. You're right. This is a false statement. Your hair should always be pulled up and tied back during a lab. Now, during lab work, make sure that you keep your hands away from your face. In some occasions, we'll be working with substances that may irritate your skin or shouldn't be ingested. So it's best to keep your hands away from your face during a lab. Remember also not to wear open-toed shoes or sandals in laboratory situations. If you're in full IDEA uniform, you shouldn't have this issue. Now I want you to point on the screen. Which shoes are okay to wear? 1. Are these okay to wear? Sorry, I gave you the answer. These are not okay. Why? Because if you notice, it is open and your foot is exposed. Is this shoe okay to wear? No, it's not okay to wear. Why is it not okay to wear? You're right, it's not okay to wear because it's open. Is this shoe okay to wear? Yes, it is okay to wear. Why? Because it's completely closed. Remember to never put anything into your mouth during a lab experiment. Why? Why do you think this is dangerous? Think to yourself and give me an answer in 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Did you say that you should never eat, drink, or apply cosmetics in the laboratory because food, drink, and cosmetics can easily become contaminated with dangerous chemicals? You're right. Now, I want you to go ahead and answer this question. It says, when are food and drinks allowed in the lab? A, when you're hungry or thirsty. B, anytime. Or C, never. Go ahead and answer in 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Did you answer C, never? Nice job. That is a correct answer. Now, when working in lab stations, make sure that your work area is not cluttered. Make sure you only take to the lab station what you need and to clean up your lab area after you're finished. What happens if you come to a lab station that is not clean? Who should you tell? You're right, you should tell your teacher. Make sure you also follow the safety instructions carefully. You need to become thoroughly acquainted with the location and use of safety equipment facilities such as exits, eye wash fountains, a first aid kit, and your teacher will tell you where these are located in your classroom. Now, what do you do in an emergency? Well, if there's a fire or a fire alarm, quietly get up and push your chair in. Walk toward the outside classroom door. Walk to the designated area. Remain in line until the drill is over. And remain silent throughout the entire alarm so that all people can hear important decisions. Next, we'll discuss glassware safety. Now, glassware can be very dangerous because it can break. So we need to become familiar with the hazards of the apparatus and the operations involved. Make sure that whenever we're using glassware, check the condition of it before and after using it. If a beaker or a graduated cylinder is cracked, let your teacher know so that they can replace it and you will not get hurt by any broken glass. Do not pick up any broken glass with your bare hands. We do not want you getting hurt. Never place glassware near the edges of your work surface. If you do so, it may fall and cause a glassware to break. Remember to never eat or drink out of lab glassware. And if glassware looks hot, don't touch it. You might get burned. Next, we'll discuss electrical safety. Make sure that you keep electrical cords away from areas where someone may trip on them or where cords can tip over laboratory equipment. Never handle electrical equipment with wet hands because that may put you in danger for electrocution. And make sure that your hands and your lab area are dry before using electrical equipment. Never poke anything into electrical outlets. Make sure you unplug cords by pulling the plug and not the cord. And make sure that you turn off and unplug all electrical equipment as soon as you're finished using the equipment. When using a hot plate, let hot plates cool down before touching them. Test to see if they are cool enough by bringing the back of your hands close to them. Use rubber gloves to handle hot objects. And never heat anything that you're not instructed to heat. Never heat a closed container because it may explode. Point test tubes or bottles that are being heated away from you and others. Chemicals can boil and splash out of the tube. And only glassware that is thoroughly dry should be heated. Never leave a hot plate unattended. To summarize, use common sense. Follow the teacher's directions. And if you don't know, ask. Do the right thing. And now for a quiz. I want you to look at this picture and name one thing that is wrong with the students and what they're doing in the lab. I'll give you 15 seconds. Ready and go. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Did you say that the first student is drinking in the lab? Nice job. Did you also say that the students have a messy work area? That's right. And did you also say that the student is tasting the chemical? Those are all correct answers and things that the students are doing wrong. Let's look at this second picture. What's wrong with this one? Go ahead and tell me in 15, 14, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you say that the girl is not paying attention and she's about to knock over a graduated cylinder? That's right. Did you also say that their work area is messy? Or did you say that the girl has not tied her hair back? All of these are things that are not correct with this picture. That is the end of today's lesson. I hope you learned something, and I will talk to you later.